What's up, Taurus? This is Soul from Mentor to Tarot, here to look at your week ahead starting June 23rd, 2025. Taurus, my bulls, I hope all is well. Welcome any new subscribers to my channel. I appreciate you. The deck I am using, of course, will be listed in the description box. Not reading any reversals. I'm just going to throw that back in the deck. Yeah, just going to cleanse the energies from doing Aries. Messages for the week, and we're going to begin with your messages. Also, take note that this deck here has double energies. So if you receive any of the two, Taurus, then you know it's double the energies, right? So what is the energy here potentially for my bulls this week? What does Taurus have to look forward to? I couldn't. Yeah, I'm gonna use that. Even though it's reverse, I don't read reversals. That's the Wheel of Fortune. So you got luck on your side all week. Major Arcana, the Wheel of Fortune, fate and destiny. So you may be fated or destined for something to happen or occur. Anything that was unfortunate for you may turn around in your favor. It is also two Taurus, a big money card. So if you're the Taurus that's into risk playing, gambling, and such, just play responsibly because that's big money that could come your way, right? Wheel of Fortune. All right, let's cut the deck and begin your messages. So you already started off pretty good. Let's keep this energy flowing for you, Taurus. And we got the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is all about paying attention to your intuition. Seven things, maybe in terms of presentation for you, options, basically. It may not be seven things. It may be a couple things, and it may be presented to you. You just have to make sure. You see the female standing there looking at the seven cups, and each cup is something different. So you want to always pick what's going to be best for you if there are options that are being presented to you. Also, the Seven of Cups, not only about paying attention to your intuition, but you may already be receiving that energy that comes from the Seven of Cups, Taurus, the devotion, the love, the commitment from family members, friends, romantic partners, could be co-workers as well. Following the Seven of Cups, we have the Two of Pentacles. So there's a little juggling act going on here for you, Taurus. Could be, a small pay raise still. Could be someone working two jobs. Got two things going on here. Small, minor energy. I wouldn't worry about it. And you could also just be trying to balance out your checkbook for this week. Up next is the Ten of Swords. So two tens in the reading is very auspicious energy. So the auspiciousness is usually positive. Okay, I can't really get into describing. People ask, what does he mean that it's auspicious? It's when I say auspicious, that means that there is something more exciting or surprising that could occur or happen for you this week. I know that there's two Ten of Swords in this deck. Everything is fine. That's what it says at the bottom of the card here. But there is something that's ending around you this week, Taurus, and something new is about to approach you. Also, too, if it's not you, maybe somebody that you know. I always read this Ten of Swords as you could be planning, or someone that you know could be planning a future inpatient or outpatient surgical procedure. It's going to be painful, but the Ten of Swords always welcomes and honors relief and recovery. Up next, now you have the Major Arcana, the World card. Okay, so opportunities. So be on the lookout for anything opportunistic. Opportunities may come to you this week, Taurus, knowingly or unknowingly. Greater than the emphasis of whatever's going to end here with the Ten of Swords here. This is a chapter that's ending for you. A new chapter is about to be read. All right. This World card also too represents relationships. Very positive. Up next is the Page of Wands. Page of Wands represents it's an actual person. So beginning stages of passion for anyone. It mirrors over here to the Seven of Cups. It could be a new relationship. For anyone else, it could be, a new creative pursuit or a hobby. This person here could be a person that, delivers news to you face to face. Good news that makes you happy. Okay, always an element of surprise here. Following that, now we have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords here, two things to remember. If you're dealing with the Eight of Swords here, Taurus, deal with it. Reduce the conflicts as much as you possibly can. She's blindfolded. She's tied up. That is not you. You can always see yourself out of a situation, whatever it is, regardless of whatever it is. But this is typically of, worry, concerns, nervousness, tension, possibly not getting a good night's sleep. But also read the Eight of Swords as a break in communication from family members, friends, or romantic partners. It does sit underneath the Seven of Cups, which represents love and relationships. Whether, those relationships are near or far. Then the trick side of this Eight of Swords to be very careful and mindful of is not to allow your mind to role play, not to invite, not to entertain things specific to you. Now, this situation that I'm talking about could be involving a person or an event, or it could be a situation that has yet to occur. And what we do is we role play that energy in our mind prior to being exposed to this event, and 9 times out of 10, if it does expresses itself, it never turns out the way that we compiled it in our mind. So be very careful, Taurus. This is the trick side of the Eight of Swords that I always talk about. But of course, if you are dealing with any types of Eight of Swords energies, like I said, please reduce it as much as you possibly can. To leave it alone and not do anything about it leads to the Nine of Swords, which is completely much worse. All right, so that is the Eight of Swords. Up next, now we have the Three of Pentacles. There's some sort of recognition coming to you, Taurus. Now, this could be from your employer through a means of a small pay raise, just like the Two of Pentacles. Recognition for accomplishment of some sort of job, task. If it's in, through your employer, that's the money that you may be getting. If it's outside of the employment, something that you may have done on your own or in collaboration with others, you completed something. So you could be congratulating yourself, thanking yourself. So the energies go up on the 23rd. So by the 25th, there may be some sort of small recognition coming your way. Okay. Also, I read the Three of Pentacles as workplace love affairs and attractions, and you could also meet somebody or be introduced to somebody new. Following that, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so the Knight of Pentacles here is the job offer, the contract offer. This is one of my financial independent cards. So it could be that you're financially moving in a positive direction. Okay. This is a court card here. So it could be regarded as you're on solid ground when it comes to your finances. You're dependable, you're reliable, you're definitely stable, always, there to help out, willing to help out others. And it doesn't always relate to money lending. All right, following the Knight of Pentacles, now we have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands here, I read that it's always the projection of energy, Taurus, that may come to you from those people that you are, surrounded by family members, friends, romantic partners, co-workers. Don't engage this energy because it comes in very quickly if it does express itself in the form of petty fights and arguments. It's what's going on with them. It has nothing to do with you. So don't invite it, don't engage, don't add fuel to the fire. Ignore it. It will go away just as quickly as it may approach you. If it is not that energy here for you this week, Taurus, it could be that during the week, at some point, you may go through some sort of restless bout or moment. That too shall pass. It's not going to be something that lasts too long. Then we finish off with the, now you got your own energy here. So whenever the energy that represents you in terms of the major arcana, this makes the reading that much more powerful for you. So it should be somewhat of an exciting week. Excuse me, for some bulls that I'm reading for. Okay, so but on the side of that, the Hierophant that represents you is spiritual energy, spiritual protection, teaching and learning. Could be someone on the job training, and mirrors over here to the Knight of Pentacles. Spiritual enlightenment, spiritual engagement, epiphanies, synchronicities. I've been saying, when it comes to repetitive angelic numbers that may be seen more than once, you have to pay attention to that energy. Because those are messages that are coming through to, get your attention. And, you don't have to know them, but you can Google, what it means, just throw in, what does 1111 mean? What does Last week I was seeing triple threes, 1111, and I looked it all up. And then on top of that, when I thought the energy was done for me, then I'm being presented with triple ones. I'm like, okay, I looked up triple ones. Um, so far this week, well, no, I've seen 1111 a day as I'm speaking. So I always take a moment when 1111 shows up and just, say some sort of prayer and just put it out there. You know what I mean? So pay attention to that. Someone could be getting married here. And like I had mentioned before, Taurus, this reading makes your reading that much stronger. So you already have the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Hierophant, you have the World card, you got the Knight of Pentacles, Seven of Cups. Wow. All right, looking good. All right, so I pulled out the 20 card Lenomo deck once again because was worried and concerned that you guys, even though I used the black light last week, I called the cards out, but visually you couldn't see them. So we have light this week, and I'm just going to do the same thing, just pluck one card and um, 4 cards in total for your messages, additional messages. And if I, put all the cards down here, I may, compile a story for someone in terms of what I see. Okay, so additional messages here for my bulls. And we're going to start off with the first card for you. We got, oh, now you're the third sign that has received this. This is the card of, it's number 20. Like I said, there's only 20 cards in this deck. The cross represents burdens, okay? Feeling overburdened, feeling remorseful, regretful, feeling some sort of guilt. I forgot to mention guilt in the other signs that I read for. Yes, this could produce that type of energy, burdens, guilt, remorse, regrets. But it also could be anything, associated or attached to spirituality, religion. Like the, what is the saying, a heavy cross to bear type of energy. This also too represents endings, okay? And that's not, something I'm saying to throw a scare, but it represents endings. All right, so the next card up here for you is, yep, number 6, the heart. The heart represents love, emotions, relationships. So, of course, okay, so I'll say that for later to see what else we get. So, but on its own, the heart represents that there could be a lot of love that's being generated in terms of an outpour towards you, or you're doing that to someone else. It definitely represents the relationship. So all relationships, whether it's, romantic, platonic, or, family. Yeah, it could be just representing a love of yourself. Right. Okay, so here we go. The female. So there's a female and a male in this deck, right? And look, she's following the heart. Okay, so there's a female. All right, so separately, the female could be just you, and she's facing towards the past here. So it could be the female bull that I'm reading for. Focused on something specific related to her past, and it's pretty much hard to tell exactly what she's going to do uh related to that situation, but because she follows the heart and she follows the cross, like I said, depending on this very last card, I'll put a story together that I had already seen when I drew the woman, okay, for someone. All right, so the last card that I have for you, Taurus, in the spread is the key, the number 11. Okay, so number 11 means an opportunity. Okay, it means it could represent a physical key. So I always say that someone could be just going through the week having physical keys or having extra keys made, or someone dealing with an actual key to unlock something, to lock something, but the key always unlocks opportunity. So keep that in mind, whether it's physical or not. All right, so the story that I'm going to put together here for somebody, and again, it may not be related to anybody, but it's just what I'm going to throw together. So we have the female here. That's the female Taurus that I'm reading for, right? Now, if we had the snake here, it would be the other woman. It would be the female, the other female associated with Taurus, not Taurus itself. This is you, Taurus. You're the female. Okay, so the very first thing that I got is that you're very loving, very compassionate person, right? You love all things. You love all people. You love, well, of course, you love food. You love good things, the finer things. You have a love generally for everything, right? Let's move back here to this cross. The cross means that because of your enormous amount of love, that love in terms of either expressing it or not being able to express it has overburdened you. Or you're involved in a relationship. Now, I'm throwing several things in here. You're involved in a relationship that has created a burden for you. Now, this is not just, because the heart, represents love, of course, in relationships, but that's all relationships, platonic, family, romantic. So don't just think about romance. Think about some sort of relationship that has created the relationship that you have, came to love has created some sort of burden. The cross could also be a hardship, seen as a hardship. Remember, she's facing back in the past, so maybe it's something that happened in her past that created the burden involving a relationship. Now, the key represents a releasing or an opportunity to release herself from this past. Does that make sense to anyone? I mean, this is how I read the cards. So there is an opportunity. So if you're dealing or have dealt with some sort of burden, this could also represent to, let me throw on this. The cross could also represent, now I'll go deeper. I don't like to go too deep. Anyone has received any types of therapy. That could be psychotherapy, psychiatric therapy, um, and that's just, a side note. It may not be something that's occurring or happening with anyone, but I read it as such that there's a relationship or there's so much love that you have put into a relationship that has created, and this could be in your past because you're looking back, okay? But there's an opportunity or a chance right here with the key. So the key is like a opening or releasing. All right. So this is what I have for you, Taurus. This is why I like reading the cards, because I see different things, and it's interesting to create stories. And whatever I come up with, I just stick with. But again, it may not be something that's affecting anyone that I'm reading for. So, take what's going to work for you, leave the rest alone. But please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You guys have a safe, great week ahead. Always come back to get more of these messages from me, Taurus. And I'll talk to you soon. Ciao.